Let's talk about Delina, shall we? Hello, so I just noticed I filmed the whole video not looking into the camera but into the viewfinder, so sorry for that, it's my first one. I hope you forgive me. Now, first of all, the opening. And when you smell on the bottle, it smells really sharp. It's like, I can smell cedar. It's like a men's cologne to my nose. And very, very sweet. It's almost as if they had this bitterness and this green cologne smell and try to make it softer or balance it with sweet, but the sweet is too sweet and the sour and bitter and tart is too tart. It's so weird. Such a weird fragrance, and I don't think it's well balanced. I thought it would smell something similar to this when I heard about the notes, and that it would be tart but sweet. This to me is well balanced. This is round and like a crystally kind of scent. This is, I don't know, it's just weird. And it doesn't smell like the bottle, not at all. It smells more like the bottle cap. It's like harsh and cold and green. It gets a bit more flowery towards the middle after an hour or so. It gets the sourness and the bitterness gets a little bit tuned down. But all in all, I don't know, it's just a weird fragrance. It's not unpleasant, I'm not saying this, but this is not worth $300 or £200. It's just, I don't know. And 100% men will not run after you and give you compliments on their scent, because it's so weird. It's just weird. It smells like it projects very well, but I don't know, I think this green, it's meant to be rhubarb, and it does smell of rhubarb, but not like, rhubarb from rhubarb yogurt or a rhubarb dessert or cake. It's more like the real rhubarb, like the stems, they're really sour and almost like, did you ever taste unripe strawberries? That's about how it tastes, and this is a bit like how it smells. And then there's bergamot and cedar, and I think you can smell this from the beginning, and it doesn't go with the rhubarb and the lychee at all. And by the way, lychee has not a strong smell, so this is a very faint but super sweet smell. Probably more like lychee juice. And yeah, the rose is, to my nose, it's not a jammy rose. The jamminess comes from the lychee juice. This is more like a musky rose. So a little bit like Stella from Stella McCartney. That's the rose that I smell out of this. And also it reminds me a little bit of Britney Spears Fantasy. So the sweetness and some of the notes of the Britney Spears Fantasy, they do share a few notes. It's like they also have, it also has lychee and cedar, and some of the other notes are similar. So it's a bit of a mix. It's almost as if there are too many fragrances in one. So there's a little bit of eccentric molecules. That's how it smells. And also Britney Spears Fantasy and the Stella by Stella McCartney, and all just crunched together. It's so weird. It's like three fragrances that don't really go together, and they just mixed it together. So don't be fooled by the bottle. Don't believe the YouTubers that probably get all the fragrances for free and get extra money and tell you this is an amazing scent and you have to have it, and men will just pile up behind you and every second person on the street asks you what you're wearing. Maybe they do because it projects very well and it's not unpleasant. It's like a nice scent, but it's not what you think it is, and it's not what the bottle suggests, not at all. There's actually another thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is Bella Rosa as a as a dupe for Delina. It's not a dupe. It doesn't even smell close to Delina. Not in the dry down. I don't understand the comparison apart from the bottle. This is much more crowd pleasing. It's a rosy, a little bit slightly fruity maybe, but mainly rosy musk. It's a nice scent, but it's not my favorite. It's a tiny little bit aquatic, which I don't like. But it's nice. It's definitely more variable than this one, and it costs a fraction of the price. Seriously, don't blind buy this one. If you go into the shop and you spray yourself and you like it and you love it and you want to spend the money, do it. Notino has got notino.co.uk. They had it for £160, 161 I think, and then I got a 15% off offer that they were running last month, and so this is why I got it for 140, and I was so curious about this scent and I was dreaming about this, so this is why I make this video actually, so you don't have to. I love the bottle and it's fine. It's not unpleasant, like I said, and I'm going to wear it, but it's not what I expected. So yeah, I hope this helps you out, and I hope you like this video. Bye!